Let's start off by looking at some numbers. The highest number of popular votes ever given to any United States presidential candidate was given to Barack Obama in 2008. He received 69,498,516 votes. No one has ever received that many votes, ever. And it made sense. If you were around during that election, Barack Obama had a following unlike anything that I've ever seen before. People lifted this man up almost to Messiah-like status. People who never voted before voted in that election. The turnout was unbelievable. There was people who voted Republican their entire life, and they voted for Barack Obama. I mean, the man could go out there and campaign. He drew massive crowds. It made so much sense that he would receive the highest popular vote count in the history of the United States. I haven't seen a movement like that until really Donald Trump. I mean, look at the Trump trains that we've seen, 5, 10, 15, 30 miles long. Look at the campaign rallies, the amount of people that are showing up, the enthusiasm. Whether or not you like him, you cannot deny this man has an undeniable following of individuals around the United States of America, very similar to Barack Obama. And this year, Donald Trump's following got him 70,812,355 votes. And that's not counting possibly many of the discrepancies and issues with the voting machines and the casting of the ballots. And so he outdid Barack Obama's number. That means if you saw 70,812,000 votes, if you could see into the future 3 weeks ago before this election happened, and you could look forward, you go, Biden can't win. He can't win. Trump got more votes than any other U.S. presidential candidate ever. It's impossible. Sleepy Joe? Geriatric Joe is going to get more than Barack Obama in 2008? More than 70,800,000? This Joe Biden?
Well, it is what it is because he is who he is.
How about this Joe Biden?
I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure.
Or maybe this Joe Biden.
To the U.S. Senate as well for their trust and confidence. We've got a lot of thanks to give out here. First and foremost to...
Is it possible that Sleepy Joe could outdo Barack Obama, the first African-American presidential candidate ever? Donald Trump, with the campaign rallies and enthusiasm that he drew. Can Sleepy Joe do it? Apparently he can. How many votes did he get? 75,215,000. Now, I know that this is just anecdotal evidence. I mean, this is not hard evidence. If you brought this into a court, they would take a look at it. Many people would look at it and they would go, yeah, it seems a little fishy. That Sleepy Joe, Slimy Joe, Weird Joe, who walks up to women and goes behind their backs and whispers in their ears. He stumbles with his words. He says strange things. He's been in politics for 47 years and no one really wants slimy politicians anymore. That he could ever outdo Trump and Obama. But somehow he did it. Somehow he did it. And although it's anecdotal, you have to look at that and go, something sounds a little strange. And so the question becomes, how in the world is this possible? There's really only two ways it could be done. Number one, you have to institute a new system. How about we give everyone ballots? Well, should they solicit those ballots? Should they be absentee ballots? No. We can't do it like that. It's not going to work. We just have to mail them out by the millions. If we mail them out by the millions, we can get this man way more votes. But that might not be enough. Because then we're also going to have to institute some shadiness with the voting ballot machines, which we've seen all over the place, where ballots are coming in that make zero sense. The amount of returns that are coming in at moments, the data that's coming in makes zero sense. So now we send out millions of ballots to individuals unsolicited, very hard to verify. And that's why there's people who have been voting all over the place who are either dead, missing, different state, doesn't really matter. But you got to do that. In order to beat 70,800,000 votes from Donald Trump, you got to do that. Because Sleepy Joe's not going to do it on his own. Impossible. But that might not even be enough because as the tallies are coming in, Trump might be doing so well. The enthusiasm behind Trump might be so big. that we need to make sure that the machines work for us. So let's put a little bit of some systems, a little bit of programming. I mean, who's doing these machines? Who's behind Dominion and Hammer? Does anyone care about the security that goes behind programming these voting ballot machines? Why don't we have problems in New York City? Why didn't we have a problem in San Francisco? What about LA? What about Chicago? Why don't we have problems there? Why do we only have problems in the swing states? Why Philadelphia? Why is there a problem there? How does it take so long? Where are they doing these sweeps? Where are they finding these additional ballots? I mean, well, it takes forever to open these ballots. That's what they're saying. It takes forever to open them and to count them. It doesn't take that long. Where are you finding them from? What is going on? But you know what? Here's the big problem. Because a lot of people don't realize this. A lot of people think the United States is only made up of the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. But it's not. See, it's made up of the executive branch, the legislative branch, the judicial branch, and the media branch. A lot of people don't realize. See, they think, oh, if we win the presidency, okay, if we win the Senate, all right, we lost the House. It's okay. Who's got the media? Who's got the media right now? Over 90% of the media is sold out for the liberal agenda. Easily over 90%. It might even be more than that. In order to get a conservative viewpoint of something, you have to either go to social media, YouTube, or some website out there that everyone would say is illegitimate. If you go to major media news sources, even Fox News at this point, completely sold out for the left. Does anyone even care to investigate this stuff? Every single time something comes up, I hear a dead person voted. I hear a lawyer's been escorted out. I hear markers have been used. I hear that there's discrepancies in the amounts of votes that have been tabulated by these machines. I hear all of this stuff. Nobody cares. They hear it and they go, well, that's ridiculous. Don't you want to investigate it? You're news reporters. Don't you want to investigate this? Isn't there at least something inside of you that says, you know what? There might be a story here. Let's try to tackle this out. Instead, across the board, nobody wants to look at anything. I don't want to know. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I just want to move on. I just want to move forward. Joe Biden is our president now. But what about this? It doesn't matter. The media is sold out. And so the question becomes, well, what are you going to do? In all honesty, when you have the executive branch that now looks like it's empowered by the liberals, and the House is clearly empowered by the liberals, the Senate is up for grabs, although it looks like the Republicans will keep that, but the media sold out for the liberals. What are you going to do? Well, I mean, at least we got the Supreme Court, right? I mean, goodness, if we didn't get the Supreme Court, we'd really be in trouble. This is why they're trying to court pack it, because they want the entire thing. They want every single branch, including the media. Why would they do this? Because they want to change the United States of America. They want to create something entirely different here, or at least destroy what exists. This, by the way, is how your country becomes socialist or communist. This is sort of the system that sets it up. It's this apathy to making sure that things are done correctly. If Joe Biden won fair and square, that's one thing. He won fair and square. Listen, he got it. What are you going to do? There's nothing you can do. You didn't get out and vote. I find it interesting that the Republicans took over many seats in the House of Representatives and looks like they held the majority in the Senate, but somehow they lost the presidency. I find that amazing. So all the voters came out for the Republicans in the House and in the Senate, but it wasn't enough. Well, of course it wasn't enough, because Joe Biden got 75 million votes. How are you going to beat 75 million votes? He got almost 6 million more than Barack Obama did in 2008. Sleepy Joe, how are you going to beat that? You can't beat that. It's impossible. Media doesn't care. So basically at this point, Donald Trump is really on his own. He's on his own with his team of lawyers and investigators, whoever he can put together. He doesn't have anyone else behind him. The FBI is not behind him. The Congress is not behind him. Many establishment Republicans are not behind him. Fox News is not behind him. No other media sources are behind him. You might have some people on social media. Is he going to be able to fight the system? It's an uphill battle right now, my friends. If you're a believer out there, you know why it's an uphill battle, because there is an agenda at the end of the day. This is all spiritual. This entire thing is spiritual. God is ultimately in control. But the prince of the power of the air, the one who has authority right now on earth, God has relinquished that ability, that authority to the enemy. Now, God ultimately controls everything that happens. If God wants President Donald Trump to remain president, that will happen. If he wants Joe Biden to be president, for whatever purposes he may have, that will happen. If God wants there to be some sort of a divide or issue to occur in the United States of America, that will happen as well. This entire thing is spiritual. There are people behind the scenes who are pulling strings, and anyone who sits back and goes, no, it's perfectly handled. Everyone's doing the right thing. All of these ballot counters, the people who made the software behind the machines, everyone's doing the right stuff. There's no fraud. There's nothing happening. Anyone who thinks that is real is basically just denying the truth. To say that is absolutely ridiculous. Clearly, there's stuff going on. I mean, look at the number alone. You listen to me. You really believe that Joe Biden got more than 6 million votes than Barack Obama? You really believe that? You really believe, man, the guy had enthusiasm behind him. He had a large following. I mean, people love Joe Biden. Now, I get people hate Donald Trump, so they're going to vote for Joe Biden. That I get. But people hating Donald Trump is not going to get you 75 million votes. It's not going to do it. You need something else. That something else was instituted this time around. Send out millions of unsolicited ballots. That'll help out a little bit. Get those machines programmed right up nice. And we can make sure we tabulate the votes to keep up with whatever enthusiasm Donald Trump has. I think at the end of the day, many people want to know, well, what do we do next? Ladies and gentlemen, listen very carefully. The thing you do next is you pray to God through Jesus Christ. That is what you do next. You make sure you are right with Jesus. Because if you're going to put your faith and your trust in man, it doesn't even matter if it's Donald Trump. It ain't going to work. If you're going to try to fight the system, yeah, stand up for what's right. Stand up for what's true. But don't think that the system is going to work for you. It's not. God's going to work for you. You're going to have to make sure that you're right with him. That is the only road that you need to go down. I'm not trying to tell you to give up. That's not what I'm saying. We don't give up. I mean, does it look like I'm giving up? No. I'm going to try to share the truth as I can. But the greatest truth I can share with you is that this system, these people, this government is never going to satisfy. They're never going to do the right thing. So be right with the Lord. Share Jesus with people. Share the good news with people. That is where the truth lies. And in the meantime, we'll keep praying that the Lord will somehow help to reveal the truth of this situation. But it definitely seems like an uphill battle at this time. There's so much going against what is the truth at this time. And that makes sense. Biblically, it makes sense. Leave your thoughts below. I'll continue to keep you guys up to date on all this information.